ladies and gentlemen. I'm Thomas Herder.
And I'm Jordan Gogler, and welcome to this week's edition of 900 Seconds.
We have many great stories for you tonight. We'll cover topics from the National Origin Act to the trickle-down economics.
Yes, we have a good show ahead of us. Let's get started.
First, we have a progress report of President Coolidge.
Yes, he took office after the death of former President Warren G. Harding. Harding suffered a stroke on August 2nd, 1923. He was in San Francisco at the time.
And now we will go to Tori Cook, who is on scene with First Lady Florence Harding right now.
Thank you, guys. I'm here with former First Lady Florence Harding. Can you please tell us a little bit about your husband's condition before he passed?
He had an illness going on for about a week prior. He had a fever and indigestion. He was not too strong.
And with the death of Harding, so died his idea of trickle-down economics. Trickle-down effect was when you kept the wealthy prosperous, and the wealth from them would trickle down to the rest of its citizens.
Yes, this economic system was supported by the flourish of mass production as well as mass consumption economy.
Coolidge's first action of business was a message to Congress in December 1923, where he declared that the U.S. will have tax cuts, economy, isolation of foreign policy, and limited aid to farmers.
We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with you shortly.
I'm Edward Podesek. I'm here to talk to you about a problem Americans are having around this country. Have you ever had that problem where you're using sheets of paper and then your teacher asks for your homework and you don't know which one to use? Well, now I got a brand new idea and invention that's going to help you. The spiral notebook. Now you can easily flip through and find which pages you need without the hustle and bustle. And now you can color code them for each class. And it's a great invention that's going to industrialize and change America. Thank you. Just go into the store and buy some now.
That's slightly inappropriate. The National Origins Act is a legislation that was passed that put limits on the amount of immigrants that can move into the United States.
The act targets immigrants primarily from Southern and Eastern Europe as well as Asia. Hopefully this new law will help control the overpopulation we are starting to see in cities and towns across the U.S.
Here's Tori Cook with the story.
Hi, guys. I'm here with some young guy, a Chinese immigrant that has been living in the U.S. for 2 years. Some young, could you tell us where we are?
Yes, we're in the great town of Locke, California.
And what is special about this town of Locke?
Locke is a town set up by Chinese immigrants, run for Chinese immigrants. I love it here. It is a safe place, and I get to live with my fellow Chinese countrymen.
You say it's a safe place. Is that inferring that other places are dangerous?
Yes, you see, outside of Locke, Americans are very discriminatory against us Chinese. They hate us, they call us racial slurs, and they beat us up for no reason. I'm just glad my family doesn't have to go through that.
Your family?
Well, Tori, 2 years ago, myself, in order to find a good job and spend money home, I wanted to send money home to my family. Sorry, English is not my first language. The plan was for me to find a stable enough job so my family move here and live here with me. But because of the new immigration laws set by the U.S., my family is not able to move here and live with me.
So where's your family now? Are they trapped in China?
For now, yes. They've arrived at Angel Island last month, are ready to be admitted to the U.S., but officers in customs told them to go home, and that American was not accepting of any new immigrants.
So what will you do now?
Now, I'll have to wait. My job here is extremely hard, but pays the bills, and allows my family to live a prosperous life. I just hope that I can see them as soon as possible.
Well, Some Young, I hope you're able to see your family soon. Thank you for sharing your story with us. 900 seconds, back to you guys in the studio.
Hey,
Purple Hyundai, please come to the welcome desk. The purple Hyundai, please come to the welcome desk.
Welcome back, and we have made our way to the next story, that is the Dawes Plan. The Dawes Committee was made up of representatives of the Allied powers to come up with a plan of how Germany would resume paying war reparations to the rest of the world. The U.S. representatives were Charles G. Dawes and Owen D. Young.
Yes, these representatives were appointed by the Commerce Secretary, Herbert Hoover. In the agreement made in August, the main points were the Ruhr areas was to be evacuated by occupation troops, reparation payments were to be paid at 1 billion marks the first year, and 2.5 billion the next 5 years.
The Reichsbank was to be reorganized under Allied supervision. Sources for reparation money was to come from transportation, excise, and custom taxes. The total loan was 800 million green beans.
Charles G. Dawes and his committee formulated this plan to ensure that Germany pays back its war reparations. Our next story is a report on the Back to Africa movement.
Did you turn the lights off?
Don't blame that on me.
So the last room didn't really work out. Now we're here.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Garrett Morgan, and I'm here to talk to you about a problem Americans are having around this country every day. Every day, more and more people are getting into more and more automobile accidents. That's because Henry Ford perfected the assembly line, and now everyone's running out and buying cars. But I made an invention to stop that problem. The traffic signal. The traffic signal is an indication of whether to stop, go, and whether it's safe or not. Because people are just going out as fast as they can across the road to have some fun. But the problem is everyone's doing it and no one knows when to stop, how to properly use the cars. So I'm here to fix that. This will have a flashing light on three sides, the top, this way, and this way, on whether to stop, to go, and now all your problems are fixed.
Our Blazing correspondent Tori Cook is on scene with Marcus Garvey, who claims to have the solution to African American problems in the United States.
Thank you, Tommy. Hello, Mr. Garvey. Could you give us a background of what your movement is and what you're trying to accomplish with your people?
What do you mean, your people?
My apologies. Please disregard my previous statement. It's okay. I have a black friend. What are you planning to accomplish with your movement?
Well, I founded the UNIA, which is supposed to bring strength to a deteriorating black race.
What is the Back to Africa movement?
It's my plan of moving all African Americans back to Africa. Seeing as we will never obtain equality here, our only plan of action is to move back to where we are accepted by our equals.
Thank you, Mr. Gravy.
It's Garvey.
Yeah, whatever. Back to you guys in the studio.
You see what I mean?
And now, for our final story of the night, the presidential election of 1924.
The upcoming election has three candidates for a chance at the presidency. The Republican Party is headed by current President Calvin Coolidge, who took over after the tragic death of President Warren G. Unit Harding.
The Democratic candidate is John Davis. He served in the House of Representatives for the state of West Virginia from 1911 to 1913. In the years following, he served as the United States Solicitor General in the years 1913 to 1918. And the last office he held was the United States Ambassador to the United Kingdom in 1918 through 1921.
The final candidate is Robert La Follette for the Progressive Party. The expectation for Coolidge is to maintain his presidency due to speculation that the Democrat voters will split their votes between the Progressive and Democratic Party.
And that does it for us. For all this in 900 seconds, good night and stay classy.
Shenandoah.
You just had to jump in on that line.
I had to.
Piece of shit.